Hey, morning, folks. Well, morning in the US or US counterparts. Afternoon to guys in Europe, and evening to those in Asia. So, before I get started, I just wanted to take this opportunity to wish everyone a happy Freedom Day. Um, Right, so remember, subscribe, bell icon, the use basically. I'll be taking a bit more, I'm taking a bit of a further look into technicals this session, and a bit more on like what the week is going to look like. So number one, we'll be focusing more on Fed speakers, the ECB, um, flash PMI readings, which are coming out, like the big readings out of major economies. Also, inflation print. Remember what happened when we got the inflation print out of the US. So we'll be getting, last but not least, on Friday, we'll be getting PMIs from China. So all of these data points will be important to kind of give a bit more flavor on how the global economy is actually doing at this current time. So first chart I'm looking at here is the Dixie future. The It's nice to see that we're just pulling back from the recent highs made following the Fed decision, and nothing too serious going on. Not expecting a lot of movement today because we do. I mean, like I said, we have Juneteenth going on, and U.S. traders won't be on their desks. Um, so as I mentioned last week, the 104s would potentially be quite important as a level to hold, but obviously, a lot of stops got just taken out over there, and we're just trading in this range right now. So 104 spot fives, going forward, a really nice trend line going on there if you think about it, right? I've actually just seen this now. Wow, just bear with me here, guys. All right, yeah, pretty nice trend line for us to. Actually, no, I actually lined this up last week, took it off for some reason. So there you go, we've got a resistance trend line going on there. If we push further, we could see more pressure going into equities. But do mind, I did share this on my IG, well, one of the stories. Summer is a time, usually prior to like the whole thing that we've had. I say thing, not to basically trivialize everything we've gone through as people, but summer has traditionally been a time when people actually are more positive, with risk, right? Speaking of the mother trend here on this gold chart, look at that. I mean, we're still holding on to this prior mother trend line and just basically resting on there, perhaps looking for the next leg down. If you get that push on the dollar, we might see this spill a lot further. Um, You know, Speaking of gold, look at T notes. I mean, we're basically just trading below this prior year low. I'm not getting anywhere. As long as it stays below, I would think gold would be running a lot further down, in terms of correlation. Oh, remember that gap down that we had? Yeah, that just looks like history now. But do bear in mind, even if we are in a bear market, relief rallies tend to be quite large, and it might seem like you get caught off guard a lot of the time. So just keep your wrists tight. To those who are not very experienced, I would suggest not getting into trades today, to be honest with you. uh, Same thing on the Nasdaq, really. um, this is an important chart, not an important chart, an interesting chart I wanted to share. Is because traders are still saying that we might be expecting BOJ Governor Kuroda to actually turn around on the basically uh, hold on their rate decision, because look at that. I mean, that looks nasty. If this breaks, then we've got just this these levels here are low levels from 1998. These are massive, massive levels. So if the dollar, or if there's any word from Powell saying, yes, we are ready to kick it up a notch, on, if the inflation comes through a lot higher, a lot hotter, from the other countries maybe, because if inflation is high everywhere else, I mean, everyone needs to kind of like band together and try and fight this, right? Oh, I'm actually already in the 5 minute mark, but now it's the week ahead, so let's get stuck in, right? So if the dollar continues and he doesn't do anything to address this could be a very, very long short play. I'm not even joking. Like this could go on for the quarter, even until the end of the year, mind you. Like with this level here, the prior low that was trying to get held around 74776 is, being that line in the sand, because we've seen it getting proper rejected over here. You know, this was the level that it needed to trade above and then did not. So we might be seeing a bit of test over here, this break, a retest on this level, kind of lines up with the 75,000 handle, and then spills back down. The euro, the ECB is a bit of a tricky situation right now. I'll do like a different session on this, but we are trading still within this May range, as I mentioned before. Very clear lines and sands, and to be honest with you, it has reacted quite well on these technical levels, the support resistance lines. If it gets there without any word from the ECB, I would reckon it would be a decent place to get short. 1, 2, third targets. After we get a third target on this double bottom here, it goes to show that that level needs to then hold. If it doesn't, the ECB might have to, they will be forced to step in to basically contain the weakness, because they're trying to temper prices. All right, last, this is the last thing that I'm gonna bring up. I mean, Aussie's still the same levels really. So crude, look at that. I mean, just a nice little pullback. All these technical levels just playing out, pretty decent. I mean, if you were caught on the wrong side, yeah, I mean, it would have been painful. But if you listen to the daily briefing each day, then yeah, might have a much better time, to be honest. That's just me to my own horn. But basically, we have the demand picture, uh, seeping through a negative demand picture. So with higher inflation, higher, central banks basically gearing up to raise rates and all these things, how does that look to demand, post the driving season? We've had this massive rally. To put this into context, right? Look at that. This 2022 over here, we broke through this resistance trend line. Bam, tested once, twice, and we haven't seen this since. So this market has been just absolutely on the run with the war, supply tightness, right? So the supply picture is still the same. What's happening right now is a stronger dollar, and at the same time, a fear of China demand not coming back into the space. So any word from China saying that, oh, things are looking so much better on the virus front, and on they're looking to basically lift lockdowns and all these things, you will see this market just we will see the high of year again, definitely, definitely. Famous last words. But until then, I would want to see this level hold. Just really technical stuff. You do your VWAPs. I mean, not a lot of people use VWAPs, but in our trading room, we do use a VWAP very often. And so technicals, pay attention to context, any changes on the ground in terms of, OPEC and OPEC plus, on the Russian side, obviously. So, and I would, if this gets back to the trend line, I would not hesitate to stay that long. Obviously, you keep your risk parameters, basically discipline in risk parameters. Keep the discipline always, always. This doesn't matter like where the trade is or whatnot. So in terms of entries, you have one here. The next level, obviously, you have the 104s around here, which had been a very messy, but if you're intraday trading, it makes a lot more sense. But if you don't, then perhaps waiting for Another test of the hundreds, right? This was this low here, trying to go for the test, and then we just rallied, didn't look back, right? So a test on this trend line would be a decent place to get long, and I would think a line in the sand wise, you would want to see. Look at that, look at that, look at that. Look at that. Oh, absolutely beautiful. I love it when things line up like that. All right, so this would be a pretty nice inflection to base the your risk off of. So test on the trend line, stop below here. You know, even if you get stopped out, that is what you call an A grade trade. All right, so that is it from me today. I've babbled a lot. This is the longest recording I've done so far. Hope you found this useful. This is Reed with the daily briefing. Sorry, this is the weekly look ahead. And I'll see you guys tomorrow back in the office. Cheers.